the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast. Delivering the latest opportunities in marketing to help your small business grow and prosper in a digital world.
Welcome back to the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast. I'm your host, Luke Porter, the founder of Moving Tree Media. Today's episode is about something a lot of business owners put a lot of time and money into, but they don't always get the results they want, and that is trade shows. So whether we're talking about an industry expo or a local event, these events can be really valuable, but you got to do it the right way. So today I wanted to give you some practical, real-world advice that you can start using right away. And I'm not going to tell you what to put on like the graphics behind you or the flyers you should bring or the brochures. That's really specific to your business. We're really going to talk about two main things. The first is how to actually engage with people at the booth and make those conversations turn into opportunities. And the second thing is how to follow up after the event so that those relationships you started turn into real business. I'm also going to give you a bonus strategy that most business owners are not doing right now, but almost all of them should be. Let's jump right in. So when we start to talk about trade shows, I want to do a little bit of a mindset shift because you can have a gorgeous booth set up and you can have amazing service and great products, but you can still walk away disappointed. And that's because you might think of a trade show as like collecting the most business cards, getting the most phone numbers in hand. But that's not what it's about. It's about starting the right relationships, starting these relationships off on the right foot. That's it. Like you should not expect to sign people up for your biggest service package right there at the booth, sign on the dotted line. That's probably not going to happen. But if you walk away with 10 really, really meaningful conversations that lead to great follow-ups, that is far more valuable than getting 50 business cards from people you'll probably never talk to again. So everything I'm going to talk about today comes back to that idea. Start the relationship. Don't try to close the deal right there at the booth. So let's talk about what happens when those doors open and the people start walking through where your booths are. This is where I see a lot of missed opportunities, and this almost seems like common sense advice, but you'd be surprised how many times I see people not following this advice. And it is stand up and smile. Seriously, don't sit behind the booth looking at your phone. Don't be sitting there with your arms crossed. Don't be talking to your coworker. People are going to feel like they're interrupting you if you look like that. Your body language is part of this whole thing. It's part of your marketing. You want to be easy to approach. You want to lower the barrier for people coming to talk to you. And if you are on your phone, that raises the barrier. So smile, stand up if you're able, make eye contact, acknowledge people walking by. I like to just do good morning or good afternoon or how you doing today. If they seem open to a conversation, start talking to them. If they just kind of, grunt and start walking away, no need to be aggressive. Don't run out and grab them and pull them back to your booth. But if they are receptive to talking to you, start a conversation. And this is another area where a lot of people make a mistake. They jump into a sales pitch. Don't do that. People don't want to hear your sales pitch. You want to give them the opportunity to talk about themselves. Ask them an open-ended question. Like if it's a B2B conference, ask them, what type of businesses do you work with? Or ask them, what kind of projects are you dealing with right now? People would much rather talk about themselves than listen to you talk about your company. The best marketing starts with listening. So while you are talking to them, while you ask them this open-ended question and they are talking, and you are listening, two things are going to happen. One is you seem like a caring business person. You seem like someone they'd want to do business with because you're asking about them. You're not just blubbering out a sales pitch. So it makes you look good already. And the second thing that's going to happen is while you're listening, the gears are going to be turning upstairs and you are going to be learning how to position yourself exactly for this person. Now you can have a real conversation. This is where you should be giving advice, sharing helpful tips, being helpful. Be a human. No strings attached, no agenda. That is how trust starts, and a huge part of this is building that trust. So at the end of this very human, natural, non-salesy conversation, you're going to make one ask of this person. And this is another one of those big mistakes I see, not just in person, but in digital marketing as well. People give too many options. If you overload them with all your service types and your products and your pricing sheets, you give them all these things, they're gonna do none of those things. They get overloaded with the choices. So you gotta ask yourself, before you even go to this conference or expo, what is the one next step I want the right person to take? Now, it might be scheduling a phone call. It might be booking a site visit. It might be setting up a demo. Just pick one ask and keep it simple. Like if you are an irrigation company, it could be something like, it sounds like we might be able to help with that irrigation issue. Maybe we could have a quick phone call next week. That's it. Easy, natural, low pressure, moves the relationship forward. And notice what I said there. I said, it sounds like we could maybe help with that irrigation issue. That word maybe is actually really important in marketing because it takes the pressure off. When you say maybe, you are leaning back. You are leaning back and say, maybe we could help with that. And guess what? When you lean back, that leaves space in the conversation for the other person to lean forward. To lean forward and say, yeah, let's do a call. Versus if your pitch is something like, we are the best irrigation company in the world, and we will dominate your grass. That doesn't leave any space for the other person to leave forward. Remember, the goal is not to close the deal. Is to create the conversation. It's about being memorable because people are going to be talking to a lot of vendors at that event. So how do they remember you? How do you stand out? Guess what? It's not your brochure and it's not your pricing sheet. It's not even your amazing booth design. It's how you made them feel. People will remember whether you listened to them, whether you were helpful, whether they trusted you. They're going to remember that far more than what photo was on your booth. And really, whether it's B2B or B2C, it's a relationship-driven thing. People are not just hiring a vendor. They're choosing someone to help them manage their responsibilities, their tasks, their stress, their risk. So don't focus so much on trying to impress people. Focus on being useful. And you should have in your back pocket like a quick example or a quick tip or a little success story that you can just pull out as needed. What can you share in 2 minutes that would help this person? That's the kind of thing that sticks. And if you go into these things without an agenda, listen, people pick up on subtleties. Whether it is talking to someone at a booth or a date that you're on or talking to your boss, almost any of these relationships in life, people are going to pick up on the fact that you might have an agenda. So go into these things with no agenda, and people are going to naturally trust you more. It might be that you just help this person, they have no need for your services, you send them along with your business card, but because of the way that you made them feel, 6 months down the road, they're talking to someone else who needs the services you provide, and you're the person they think of because you seemed like a helpful, nice, great person to do business with. Start any of these relationships on the right foot by being a human, not having an agenda, and not pushing your sales pitch. Now, let's get into that bonus strategy. To stand out among all the other vendors, here's the bonus strategy I mentioned earlier. Have a video playing at your booth. This is something a lot of people are not doing, and it's a big missed opportunity because video is eye-catching. Video pulls people in. If you are a roofing and siding company and you have these really cool drone shots flying at houses, up and over them, spinning around them, that's the kind of stuff that catches people's attention more than a photograph. It's a way to get these relationships started. Speaking of video, while you're there at your booth, whether it's when you just are setting up or when it's during a dead time during the day, pull out your phone and record a short vertical video. Just something like, hey, we're at the Home and Garden Show, booth 214. We are so excited to meet people. If you're here, stop by and say hello. That's it. And you put it on LinkedIn, you put it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And it doesn't even matter if it's people that see it and would come to your booth. So thousands of people can see it that are never going to show up at that event, but it shows that you are active, you're engaged, you're an expert in your industry, you are part of the community surrounding your industry. And you might even get someone commenting that says like, oh, I didn't even know you guys were going to be there. I'll be by this afternoon, I'll stop by. This whole thing just takes a couple minutes and it can make a big difference. Next, we're going to talk about the most important part. The most important part of all this is the follow-up. That is where the real ROI happens. You've probably heard it said, the fortune's in the follow-up, and it's true. I've seen it not just in my own work, but in my clients' work. Just think of it like this. The trade show is just the introduction. The money is what happens after. So if someone showed genuine interest, if you had a great conversation, follow up quickly. And I don't mean in 3 weeks. I don't mean when things slow down for you. I don't mean go back to your office and throw their business card in a drawer and say you'll get to it later. I mean follow up tomorrow. And don't just send a generic message that was like, hey, great meeting you at the conference. Let me know if you need anything. You're just going to hear crickets. That goes nowhere. You got to make it personal. Reference something specific, like if you are that siding and roofing company, say something like, hey, it was great meeting you at the expo. You mentioned concerns about aging siding at one of your properties. Just wanted to send you this quick example about how we helped another association fix this problem and avoid those big repair costs. It shows that you remembered them. It shows that you listened to them, that you cared about their situation, that you were paying attention to them. That builds trust. And here's the next point about this. Don't only send that one email and then never message them again. Don't just be like, well, they're not interested. They never responded. People are busy. People are distracted. You got to send more than one email. A lot of business comes from just reminding them that you exist. And if they're not ready right away, that's fine. But wait a week or two and send them a follow-up email and say something like, hey, I was just thinking again about that issue you mentioned. Do you think it might be helpful if I came out and took a look in person? Keep it simple like that. Keep it natural. People are going to remember you if you can be a normal, authentic person and if you can be trustworthy. So to bring it all together here, trade shows are an amazing way to market your business. But you got to use the right body language. Stand up, smile, greet people. You got to make real conversations. Listen and respond. Don't just blubber out a sales pitch. You got to give them one clear thing to do. Don't overload them with choices or they will do none of those things. Focus on being helpful. And then follow up quickly and make those follow-ups specific and personable. And then remember those bonus tips. Have a video playing at your booth and record a video at your booth. If you do these things, your trade show experience is going to be different than it was before. Send this episode to someone that you think could benefit from it. And thank you for listening to the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast.